Hey guys! So I do apologise that this is uploaded on a Sunday. I've got no good excuse for not doing it on Saturday, so I'm not even going to try with that. But yes, I would like to talk about my hair. It is different. I did do it myself. I don't like hairdressers because they're too expensive, and that's a whole other ranting video that probably will be next week's. We'll see. I put myself a fringe in on Monday, and today I thinned it right down. I mean, it was too thick. I couldn't do anything with it because I don't do anything with my hair anyway. I just either leave it down or I tie it up in a ponytail. And when you've got really thick hair and you leave it down, my hair was quite puffy, and I didn't like it at all. It was way too thick and puffy. It come out to like here, even when straightened, and I didn't like it. I couldn't do anything. But I suppose if you like curling your hair and doing a lot with your hair, then you might prefer it to be quite thick, but I didn't, so I've layered it, thinned it down and given myself a fringe. So enough about that. Main point of this video. I go back to uni on Monday, and I go back a lot later than everyone else. I mean, my brothers went back to school on Monday last week. My brother Scott went back to college on Wednesday. I mean, not that his college went back 2 days later, it's just he only goes on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The college probably did open on Monday. But I don't go back to uni until Monday next week. And I would like to talk about some of the differences that I've thought about within or regarding the differences between uni life and school or college, because I went to a degree from BTEC A-levels. I had no exams in my A-levels whatsoever for the 2 years. I mean, because my GCSEs weren't that great, to be honest. I barely passed the ones that had exams in, and I mean, 2 of them I failed completely. One of them is my favourite subject. I failed my art GCSE. I mean, most of that was my fault, but that's another video. But I failed my art GCSE, and I'd like to think I'm good at art. But so when I went to choose my A-levels, I wanted to do a biology A-level, but the teacher of the biology had known me for 5 years. She'd been my form tutor for 5 years, and she'd been my science teacher for 2. She knew my abilities, she knew what I was capable of, and she was like, I know you'll struggle with the biology. And I think you'd be much happier on the applied science course, brackets, forensics. And I chose that, and I got 2 distinctions because it was worth 2 A-levels. I'm really happy with that. I'm kind of glad I didn't choose biology, but that is what I wanted to do at the time. I also chose business and health and social care, but I dropped business at the end of year 12 because I couldn't take 2 A-levels through, but 3 BTECs through, 2 A-levels. Of course you can take 2 A-levels through. But I ended up dropping business because I just couldn't cope. I mean, halfway through year 13, I think it was like February, it's not even halfway, it's just a quarter of the way, I completely gave up with 6th form, and I wanted to drop out, and I wanted to leave everything. I didn't want to carry it on. I hated my options. I hated my life, I think I can safely say. But I'd just completely given up. Completely. I mean, from being 4 to being about 13, I wanted to be a performer. And I didn't tell anyone this, but I wanted to be a performer. Obviously I don't now. At 13 and 14 roundish, I kind of discovered I had panic disorder and anxiety. I never had them diagnosed. I've been diagnosed now, but I was never diagnosed then. My school and friends I had at the time and my family all said, you'll grow out of it. It's a phase. It's just stage fright. Obviously I haven't, and they've developed into me being diagnosed 2 months ago with mild clinical depression, and I mean, I'm happy to talk about it now because I'm currently in therapy for it, but I'm not going to talk about it in this video. It would be a whole nother one, but they're the reasons I no longer want to perform. I mean, I think a small part of me still does, but a big part of me doesn't, so. And then from being about 14 up until being about 16, I wanted to be a paediatrician or a forensic scientist. And then when I was 17, I didn't want anything. I gave up with everything. I wanted to leave school. I wanted to leave everything. And I gave up. And then I went back. Obviously, I went back to school because I finished my A levels after about a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I think it was, that I stopped. And then I just went back, and everything seemed to get better because I still finished my A levels before everyone else did. I mean, I'd finished sixth form back this time last year, and we're 3/4 of the way through a year. We're only in April, nearly May. We're nearly in May, damn it. So yeah, I'd finished this time last year. I still finished pretty early, despite the fact I gave up. So yeah, having done BTECs at A level, I took a big step in going to university. I mean, there's 3 things I'd like to talk about that are quite different now. One of them is essays. I'd never done a proper essay my whole life. I will be talking more about psychological documents than anything else because I do psychology, so I only know about this. I'd never done a proper essay in my entire life. I did a Romeo and Juliet essay in English for a controlled assessment in like year 10, but it was never anything substantial or significant. That's the word I'm thinking of. Substantial. It was never significant. I think I did fairly well on it. I got a B, and my teacher did use it as like the class example, so I'd like to think I did well. But I went from that to doing essays at uni. It's a bit different. I mean, there's a word count now, and if you go over 10% over your word count leeway that you're allowed, they'll just like stop reading it when they get to the word count. I mean, it's okay if it's kind of like a hard copy handing because they can't really tell, but if it's like an online handing like ours are, like a lot of ours are, they can't really tell. Wait, no. They can't tell it was a hard copy. I'll get that right. They can tell, so they'll just stop reading, and then if your conclusion's like way over, they'll just stop reading it, so they'll like miss it, and then you'll get a lower grade. So I'll get that right every time. Messed up. I don't want to start again. I'm just gonna carry on. The next thing I want to talk about is like exams. I can't do exams for life in me. I just told you that. That's why I chose all BTECs at A level. But obviously I couldn't get around that at uni. We did 2 exams this year. One of them I passed by 2%. The other one I failed by 5%. And I mean, the lecturer for the one I failed is so sweet. He literally told me that he doesn't like associating me with failures, so that made me happy. But I may not even have to resit that exam because I was told that if I get over 45% on my report for the same module-ish, then I'll pass the module without having to resit the exam, which is good. I should be able to do that because the pass marks are 40, and I've not got less than 45% on a piece of coursework yet, I don't think, so should be all good. And the other one I passed by 2%, which is pretty bad considering it's the most important module of the degree, but it's pretty good to say it's a pass. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was referencing. You might not know what referencing is if you're in Key Stage 1, 2, 3 or 4. Not that you'd be watching this in Key Stage 1 because you'd be like 6. But Key Stage 3, you won't know what referencing is. You may know about it in Key Stage 4, but I didn't. I'm teaching my brother who's in Key Stage 4 to do it because then he'll understand it more when he moves up to higher education. I mean, I don't think he's going to university. He wants to be in the RAF. He's going to Army College. But I'm teaching him how to do it anyway. And basically, when I was in year 12 and 13, when we were in sixth form, we were told we had to start doing bibliographies or referencing. We had to put the title referencing or bibliography, underline it and put it in bold, and then underneath it a list of URLs and the name of the book we'd used, and I think in brackets the page numbers we'd use of those books, but that was it. With referencing now, in my psychology degree, you have to put the author's name, the title, in italics, and then you have to put like the page number, the publisher, where it was published, and all this crap, and I'm like, why is this relevant to you? If I put the title of the book and the edition of the book, you will find it. Why is this shit relevant? So somebody else can copy it and paste it onto their document? I mean, it could easily be done. Why have you gone into screensaver mode? I can't see my face. No. I've lost my face. Okay. Oh, there we go. And then my other referencing hatred is the fact that with websites, we used to just put the URL. Now you've got to put the URL, the person who wrote it. So if there's not like an author or something, or a date or something like that, you've got to think, is it reliable? And you're not allowed to use Wikipedia. But obviously we gave up on that in A level. My brother, he did a piece of work for his GCSE history, and it was just literally copied off Wikipedia. It was just copied and pasted, because I read it compared to the Wikipedia page. I was like, you can't hand that in. Even at GCSE, that's ridiculous. It's just the Wikipedia page. You also just give him the URL and go, there's my homework. So I sat down with him, and he got really in a big mood with me, going, oh, it's done. Why are you changing it all? You can tell when someone's copied it off Wikipedia. It's got those little numbers in it. You're not helping yourself. So I was trying to sit down and help him with it and change it all and paraphrase it, and he wasn't having any of it. So last time I helped him. But anyway, that was just my little chat. I had to think of something quick to talk about whilst it's midnight on Sunday morning. Sorry. I hope this was more of a proper video compared to last week, though, where it was just me running a bath and me having a quick chat because I didn't think of anything. This was kind of planned out over the last 20-25 minutes. And I would like to think that it's a lot better than last week and the last couple of weeks where I've not been uploading anything. Next week I hope to get something uploaded quicker, and it'll either be my extensions video or a video about, what was I talking about earlier? The ranty one, the hairdressers. I could do that, or if it's requested enough and if enough people want to see it, I will do one about my panic disorder, my anxiety, my depression. I mean, obviously I'm not through those yet. I'm in recovery for those, so if it's up to people whether they want to see it or not. But yeah, I will talk about those, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.